Welcome back to Leadership Matters, where we talk about the principles of leadership and learn the keys to being a great leader. In this episode, we hear Pastor Kenneth sharing about his passion for his homeland, Malaysia, and why he celebrates this nation so confidently.
Someone who celebrates all things Malaysian. Yeah, like that's why you named it Asian Youth Ambassadors.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons is because you wanted to celebrate the diversity in Asians. Yeah, so and also the fact that we are not to look down on ourselves, don't despise your youth, that kind of thing. And you have been invited to speak at international platforms as well, Pastor. And from Kenya, who followed you, I know that that Pastor, even when you stand before foreigners, you are one who probably won't change your accent. I mean, you have traveled to so many places and you have not changed your accent whenever you go, Pastor, as we have seen. And at the same time, we know that some people, maybe they just spend 1 month in somewhere, and when they come back, they will come back with an accent. But so, Pastor, you have been consistent, and that speaks to me of confidence. But Pastor, what was your conviction that or the thing that adds to your confidence to stand before international platform where there are foreigners, where might not understand your accent, and yet do what you do, Pastor? What was the thing that helps you to overcome that? Because it can be intimidating when you talk to a Mat Saleh or it can be someone else, you know, or someone who has a lot more accolades, maybe been to Bible schools, a lot of degrees on the wall. What is the thing that makes you so confident, Pastor?
Thanks for the question, Shirley. Okay. I believe it's the first thought that comes through my mind is value. I think everyone has got to value yourself and put a value on yourself that you believe in. And I really, really value myself from the eyes of my God. And my God values me a lot. Many, many years ago when I was a new Christian, someone gave me a little pamphlet and it says, "How much do you think you're valued?" And the answer inside that pamphlet was, God thinks you're worth the death of His Son. And so I have, for many years now, not undervalued myself in any way. I think even when I was tempted to do it, when people spoke down on me or when I made mistakes and I felt really bad and I tried to undervalue myself, God would not allow it. His word will not allow it. His spirit will not allow it. So I think the first thing is the value. And when you value yourself like that, then you become second to no one. And not only did I want that, because with that value came confidence. With that value came freedom. Freedom of expression to be myself. But it wasn't just confidence, it was confidence based on value. And once I got the value right, the self-worth right, in God's eyes, then I wanted it for others. And I wanted it not just for anyone, and actually I want it for everyone, especially young people, but I wanted it especially for Malaysians and to widen the scope, Asians. Because through the years of my observation and experience, I find that Malaysians always tend to look down on ourselves. We tend to compare ourselves with the Caucasians, with Americans, Australians, British, whoever else who has gone ahead of us. And yes, we must acknowledge they have gone ahead in many areas. They are a more maybe sophisticated society. Maybe they think they have it all thought through. They are probably I don't know. just better in every way. But then the question is, who said so? Who said so? You said so? The Caucasian said so? God said so? So I go with God. Did God say that we Malaysians or Malaysian Christians, let's go more specific, in Malaysia are second-class Christians? Did God say so? Did God say we can't? Why are only the Americans, Australians, British writing books? Why are so few books being written in Malaysia by Christians? Even 20 years back, even by Malaysians. Don't talk just about Christians, by Malaysians. Why are we only reading books from outside? Because they only they know more? Why? If you say, yeah, they know more, but why do they know more? Why? Because they tried more.
Right.
They tested more.
Right.
They did more mistakes. They experimented more. They innovated more. Yes? So we don't know as much because we didn't want to try. We were scared. We were told by our parents, no, study first. Get all these good grades first. Don't start a business. They started at 18. That's why you have people like whoever who started Google and whoever who started Facebook, all at young ages, because they had examples, they had references.
True.
Malaysians don't have very many references. Our references are, that guy, he finished at 45, then he had everything together, he had a wife, he had 5 kids, he put his kids to school, now he can start. We have that kind of references, but when are we going to have references? Not just for ourselves, no. We become references for others. So I was very, call it jealous if you want to, in my heart. Call it, not jealous of other people, jealous, for wanting what God wanted for us. And if I wasn't going to write a book, why do I want to challenge a young person after me to write one? If I wasn't going to write a song, why challenge a person after me to write one? If I wasn't going to do some of these things that were burning in my heart, you see, because it all went back to value. All went back to value, and value brought about confidence. And so it was so important to me when I had to call it something for the youth organization, I called it Asian Youth Ambassadors. Because actually I want to call it Malaysian Youth Ambassadors or something to do with Malaysia. But then the Lord says, Kenneth, I'm going to give you a bigger vision. Because do you think Singapore is writing books?
True.
At that time, Do you think China is writing books? Do you think India, I'm talking about Christian young people. But then you can find all these from overseas. Why? So God says, Kenneth, I'm going to do something in and through your life that's going to cause Asia to rise up, especially Asian young people, to say, if he can do it, I can do it. And if together we do it, then you bring up the whole continent. And so I call it Asian Youth Ambassadors. So I'm very aware when I'm writing, it's not just for me. I'm very aware that when I'm producing a song, it's not just for me. I'm very aware that when the people tell me, when I first said, let's do an album in this church, and they tell me, Pastor, you don't know what an album means. Album needs this, 100,000 ringgit, I'm very aware, and that's why I very quickly and strongly sometimes silence voices, because these voices don't understand what I really stand for. I actually am trying to do something for them, The very people who say no, I'm doing it for them, because when they can do it, they can say, we've done 5 albums now. And we just get better. We just get better equipment, but we, because we learn from our mistakes, but we don't do mistakes, we can't experiment, we can't innovate, we can't invent. And where will we start doing, and when will we start doing it? When everything is intact, when everything is provided for, I think, it'll be too long, too late. And what will we tell the young people? That's the thing. What is the message that we will tell the young people? No, you have to get there first before you can do it. So we have to stop telling young people that your value is based on what you have or don't have. On the external, I should say. Right? Don't have mentor, just do it. Then you be the mentor. Don't have a reference, be the reference. You don't have history, then make history. Just do it. Just do it, right? And we have people in the world that has done it. They tell me that is it Lim Gotong? There was never a Getting Highlands.
That's right.
They said he actually went out with his own hands,
Surveyed the
and cut down the trees. So there needs to be some of us who will be trailblazers and who cut a path. There was never a path, but some of us just want the path created for us. Hey, make me a road. maybe at least a path. No, you cut the path, because some of us are called to cut the path for our children and for our grandchildren, especially Christians. Now, let me come back to Christians and let me come back to young people. So the value that I understood from God was a value that I jealously wanted not only to guard, but to give to others. The Malaysian young people had a value. So why I don't use accent? Because again, I'm very aware that if I use it, then they will think that it has been used.
Yeah.
And only with accent they can be somebody. You see, so I almost all of my life, since the time God revealed all this to me, has been on a very intentional journey. And the reason why sometimes people say cannot to me and I purposely say can, even though it goes against all odds, is because I am on a mission to seal people's values.
Wow.
And that's why I don't take no for an answer easily. Because people don't understand when they say no, they're actually saying no to something deeper. And so I said, we are going to go on with this. We're going to go on with this. So now I tell stories of an Asian boy who started in Bristol, of an Asian boy who started in Cambridge. I tell stories of that, and people will hear and go like, I have to admit, hopefully someone will say that we are all the same in God's eyes.
Yeah.
And God can do anything He wants with any one of us as long as we are faithful. So yes, that's right. Don't you think I can put on an accent? I would like to. In fact, sometimes we joke about it, But what is the message that goes forth to a young person who's sitting there and go like, Pastor Kenneth, oh, I see this is the way you have to do it to be accepted. I said, no, I'm not. So I know that eyes are watching.
Yeah.
People are considering, As people say, you don't learn by what is taught, you learn by what is caught.
Yeah.
And so they keep on catching. Do I have to be like that? Why do I not do things in our church with lights and all that? I want, it continues to go back to value.
Yeah.
Am I valued as a church only because I turn off all my lights and put on the sound machine and smoke machine? And am I now valued in your eyes because I have, or can I still touch many, many more lives even if I don't have it? So are you with me?
Yeah.
It's not about
Yeah.
microphones, it's not about
Yeah.
equipment,
Yeah.
it's about value. How
Yeah.
much do I value myself? And can a young person still be great without all this? The message that I sent is very important. So I go around Malaysia and I know some kampong churches, where do they have even 1,000 ringgit?
Yeah.
But if I leave that place, giving them a false value, I would have done them injustice. I have to leave with saying, Pastor Kenneth, you have just taught me that with 100 ringgit, I can still do the will of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because the value is not in what you have in your hands, value is what you have in your heart.
Yeah.
I think that's so, so important. So I continuously and constantly push this agenda because I believe it's not my agenda, it's God's agenda. And yes, I like batik. And I'll purposely put some of these things. I'll go for whatever it is that I want to make because I love Malaysia.
Yeah.
If God wanted me to be American, He would have me born in America, man. Right?
Yeah.
Or even with Mother Teresa, she was born in Albania, but she called India her home.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it is, wherever you call home, love it. And she had a state funeral in India, not in her own country, Albania, but because she that's where home is. That's where I'm going to love. That's where I'm going to give my life. Okay, so Malaysia, all right. I know the producer asked us, would we consider wearing batik? I said I love batik. But I said I only have very few good batik. So I said to the producer, I will wear the batik because I'm proud of it, but I'll wear it proudly on occasions. And he said, okay, Pastor, as long as you do it. I said, I'm going to do it, But for this, it's easier to change around. But I love it, and I'm not ever going to put it down or be ashamed of it, be ashamed of my background or any of these kind of things because I want to show the world that God can use anything.
Amen.
He doesn't have to say, only this shape, only this size, only this skin color. No, never. You will never get this message from X Church as long as I'm alive.
Yeah.
And I believe that as long as you guys are also catching it and alive, they will never, not AYA, not X Church, not anything we do, this message will never be corrupted. But whoever we are, whatever God made us, God can use whoever for His glory. There is no second-class citizens, no second-class Christians. We can do as well and as good as your tech company, brother, I've always believed, can be the same as anyone out there. I've never believed anything less. Rose, who's now leading my, our coaching arm, and I don't see anything less that. Shirley, I keep calling her, the best translator, better than,
She
I
is.
would take
She
Shirley
is.
to anywhere in the world. If Mandarin translation is needed, even when the person said they have a good translator, I'll still bring her because in my eyes, she will do a better job. So the thing is, it's just how we value people, and it actually starts with valuing ourselves, and I think that's really.
Self-confidence is a very important trait for any leader, and sometimes we might be affected by our own past, background, or even perception of our nationality, gender, or race. Can you take some time to reflect on how your own unique identity in terms of your gender, race, nationality, and cultural background that has benefited and blessed others? We hope you have enjoyed the first season of Leadership Matters. Till we meet again, God bless.